It is. And today we'll be doing a deck profile for the Shark Goodstuff list that recently has been running around, but with a little bit of my own take on it. This deck has done really well in the Tokyo qualifier for the very recent championship. And this deck is really strong, it's very versatile, so let's get to it. First of course we have our one check. He draws 2 and he cards 2 and gives you 2 count on attack. And his passive is that all his Azure Wave spirits or Azure Wave effects that discard cards from your hand is reduced by 1. So basically Shark is to draw 2, discard 1. So it's very nice. And because he draws, it sort of fixes the green aspect of the deck because you're running blue draw sources. Next we have the one Paladin mode. It's limited to 1 because it can synergize really well with Arcade Gundam, another card later we'll see. Its change effect is to destroy the highest costed spirit. After the effect resolves, your opponent banishes their trash and you swap with a cost 7 or higher spirit. So basically, you can return your best advance to your hand with it. Extend with ranges, it comes in standing and attacking, so more damage is always good. Second effect is to get back all your core from trash. And exhaust all opposing spirits. And he's also double symbol, which means he does a lot of damage anyway. Next is sort of like one of the main stars of this deck. Is the 3 copies of Cost Ever is a cost 9 Headland Spirit that can cost 6 or higher during either player's attack step. Is on Corin / on attack. Lets you destroy a Spirit Ultimate that's cost 8 or less, or to send 3 costs from an opposing Spirit Ultimate. Effect destroys or depletes, you draw 2. And his level 2 skill, Spirit Ultimate, that leaves the field by opposing effect, gets banished. So instead of going to the hand, open zone, deck or trash, the Spirit or Ultimate will be banished when you stack Cross Evoke on anything that already has 2 core on it. This effect will let you draw 2 and then the card will get banished after the fact, which is very nice. Again, it's also a double symbol attacker, which is very good because we have 3 standards in this list. The original Goodstuff winner won. Oh well, he runs 3 badgers. Badger cannot be discarded, and he has 2 burst conditions. When your opponent uses Spirit or Brave on summon effect, and when your life decreases, which is really generic because of all decks nowadays have either a Brave on summon or they're gonna hit you for life. So you can destroy 3 core or less Spirit Ultimate. Well, not you can, you destroy a 3 core or less Spirit Ultimate. If you destroy, you draw 2. After this effect resolves, you summon the Spirit. Basically, fixing draw again, and also a big body, so you can go into cross, or you can change into your Paladin. So that's why it's in this list. On attack, you also can destroy a core, Spirit or Ultimate with 5 cores or more on it. If you have a Mirage, that is Spirit becomes colorless, so that's also very nice, handy. It goes through Spirits of Armor. Maybe now that I look at it, maybe that's the reason why they run 3 and not the draw. Okay, so we run the 1 Arcade Gundam. Again, good synergy with Paladin mode. Basically, you can Arcade Gundam, go in, use the skill Restand, deal 1 damage, kill thing, discard. Then second attack, if you have just enough cost to change, you change and get the Ake back, hit for 2, you already dealt 2 beforehand, jump out and then swing for the last damage again. So very nice. You also can technically use Barden mode, kill the highest cost spirit, then get Ake Gundam out, then after the effect resolves, the Barden mode will swap with the Ake Gundam and you get the Ake back in hand, which is relatively nuts because you can do this very often to cheese your opponent off the board. Because if they have no board, you can go into this and do the whole thing I just mentioned and get your Barden on board by first flash timing, which is quite nasty. You run 3 Bergaros. On attack here, heavy exhaust. He can heavy exhaust 2 opposing spirit ultimates or Nexus or Grandwalker Nexuses. If you did exhaust, you gain 2 power from Void to the spirit. You can actually. So, and on attack he can save, so he flips, and on level 2, when your opponent life decreases, your opponent discards a card from the hand. Now the B side is the real goal here, because the B side makes him a cost 8. This B side makes him a cost 8. That discards your opponent's hand for every exhausted spirit ultimate, Grandwalker Nexus or Nexus, maximum of 2. So basically the whole shebang is that you attack, heavy exhaust to flip, and then you make your opponent discard 2, which is the dream. And level 2 on effect, when your opponent's life is decreased, bounce 1 exhausted opposing spirit ultimate to the hand. If you've done so, send 1 opposing life to void. This effect only can activate once per turn. So long story short, he supports himself for damage. He's a cost 8 on the B side, he's hard remote target. He is a cost 6, he's also a cost evoke target. So it synergizes very well with what we want to do. And plus, the hand discard slows your opponents down on the defense and aggressiveness, so that you can, get in your damage well. We run 2 Marshal Brows. This guy is low list because he is the one that has the on Korean or on summon, destroy a cost 8 or lower spirit ultimate. This effect cannot be prevented, and if you did destroy by this effect, you gain 2 call from void to your Azure Wave Spirit. So it's mostly to stack on Shark when you have 3 count, or if you feel like hard summoning him, you also can. So with this, you have the option to destroy cost 8 and below spirit ultimate and cannot be prevented, which is quite a lot of targets in this meta, so I think it's really good. Aggressively kill Omoi Kane, then destroy Tiramisu after that. Very nice. Okay, next we have the 1 copy of Juggler's Juggler, 1 copy of Mark 6, and 1 copy of Spitzer. Now, Mark 6 and Spitzer are very self-explanatory. 1 is to prevent on advent effects once per game, or on summon effects, the 1 effect basically. And on attack, ATF you and send 2 of opposing spirit to trash. It's decent. It's a cost 6 body for our boy cost evoke, so that's why he's in here. Spitzer is to get rid of annoying bursts that can be discarded, or if they can't be discarded, make your opponent confused as to which to target, because you can sort of reassign call with him. Phase 1 comes down, then he gives himself to call, or you can give it to a Grandwalker Nexus you control as well. But most of the time, for this list, we're just adding it to ourselves. And on attack, kill a 7k and below spirit ultimate to reset. Yeah, very very nice. On block also, so you can deal with aggressive bots. Now Juggler's Juggler is the spicy tag that I added in after taking out 1 Badger, mostly because he is a trigger on hand size increase, which is relatively easy to do this meta because every deck will draw cards, and for each card your opponent increase, you send one opposing spirit ultimate or nexus to vortex. So it stops your opponent's setup, or it can aggressively put your opponent in a spot because they have nothing, sort of almost nothing on board, or very little things on board. Level 1, 2, 3, his symbol also can be treated as purple, so multi-color symbol is nice. He also has a on-attack block. You send all but one core from an opposing spirit ultimate to the reserve. Once button, refresh. So again, attacker for cost evoke, and then it's a 2 and 2. Or you attach a brave, it's the same thing, 2 and 2. Or you attach a brave, 2, 2 and 3. Basically all the right numbers that you want to kill your opponent with. Very good. You run 3 and king. The actual green good stuff winning list run Mandy Borealis instead. I can agree with that because he's level 2 Nox burst. Once per turn restands, and it's not reliant on count, so you don't need to rely on check. And he can free set your butterfly jammer for you, but I like this Lost Sword is because he's cheaper in cost, so he comes down faster. And sometimes with this list, spiking count isn't so bad because there's more triggers for the next card out. So on attack he flips, this guy on attack he flips, and he is unaffected by opposing spirit or nexus effects at level 2. And if he leaves the field, he stays in heavy exhausted position, but sometimes you don't want that because he can technically flip on the field as well. So on flip, he's a cost 7, and again, like I said, he gains 3 core when you flip, and if you have 2 counters or more you refresh. And then Whirlwind 2, Flash Diving, you can heavy exhaust 2 opposing spirit ultimates. And it's very nice, because heavy exhausting does a bit more than normal exhausting, but Mandy Borealis does send the exhausted stuff to bottom deck. So that is also a consideration. You have between deciding to, you can technically do a mix as well, but it's based on player preference at that point. I just prefer this because I don't have a Mandy Borealis, and this guy is sort of cheaper in terms of the cost on core and not on my wallet. But he got reprinted anyway, so it's okay. 3, love it that. We are half a contract deck, so there's always the move of attack with shot. When your count hit 2 or more, if you haven't summoned a Tri-Wise Deity, you can pay 1 to summon him, and then add 1 cost from void to your spirits and draw a card. He also is a multi-color symbol, which helps us in a lot of ways, and if your hand size is 6 or less, it's unaffected. And on attack, if your count is 5 higher, you send 1 life to void. So very cool, very straightforward. There are considerations to use the female version because Javad is running around way too much, and you normally use the deities for extra card draw or extra core. So the other deities also have, uses of their own, which is very nice. So that's why he's a 3. You run 1 gain margin and 1 come to Demon God. Mostly it's because he gives protection. He can use his effect to make a turn long buff that your opponent cannot activate burst when your Brave Spirit is attacking, which is very nice. He also has a on attack draw on the right side, and well, green red is easy to fulfill. Gain margin is the 6 color protection, 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. So depending on the matchup, you just attach it to whichever so that you don't eat removal very easily. 0 barrier, I might be bumping this to 2, because again, as much as the deck draws, we still want to see this against the Javad and Amaterasu matchups. So this helps a lot. Oh, he also had a after this battle and the attack step. So you can 0 counter ultimates. Means when they summon without paying the cost, you can use this to destroy. 3 butterfly jammers. It's a floodgate in a sense. During the start of your opponent's attack step, you can AAV exhaust a cost 4 and below Spirit Ultimate. If you've done so, send 3 calls from an opposing ground connectors to void. So it slows down the ground walker deck as well. Initially it was meant to do that. And this card in hand, and your opponent uses a magic in your attack step. Before the effect resolves by paying this card's cost and discarding it, you can immediately negate the effect. So paying 3 costs to negate any magic during your attack step is bonkers for this list because gaining core is R40 anyway, and the flash effect is to banish that trash, so it's good against graveyard strategies. 2 bloodsheds. When you take life, you can activate the supremacy effect, which is to send 1 opposing Spirit Ultimate to hand. So being able to target ultimates is very good. And the Tensei, and you can Tensei. So the Tensei condition, you pay 2 costs and flip this card. Then you put a copper white to the B side, and during this battle your opponent doesn't, or rather during this battle your life cannot be reduced, is the flash effect. So the B side, after you bounce, if you have bounced an opposing Spirit Ultimate and then paid the cost to flip, it will end the attack step after this battle, basically. Is the on-Tensei effect. And during the start of your opponent's attack step, you can set a burst card from your hand. Additionally, send an opposing Spirit Ultimate to board deck. So it's again another floodgate that can be used together with the butterfly jammer. If your opponent decides to like hit you first and then you go into this, then during your turn set the jammer. Your opponent's gonna struggle a bit, especially if their chibi is the ones that want to attack and they don't have like anything that was 5 or higher. Rolling on the floor, I think. So 2 burst flame, deal with Lampo. Good against the ulti deck sometimes. Makes your hand unaffected to carry through this because our hand size does increase quite a whole bit. And burst effect destroys 3 opponent's Spirit Ultimates that's 12 and below. His flash effect destroys 1 opposing Spirit Ultimate that's 20k or a Brave Spirit Ultimate, so it's also very nice. 2 God Break to deal with Groundwalker strategy because it can destroy a non-Keegan Groundwalker. So mostly it's for like the occasional Zeus and the Amaterasu because it will slow their deck down by a lot. And after that you put this card on the field, its passive effect is that your opponent's Groundwalker Nexuses that don't have Keegan, or rather sorry, all the Groundwalker Nexuses have no symbol, and then your deck cannot be discarded by non-Keegan Spirit or Ultimate effects. So it's very very strong. Okay, then next we run 3 Agastya. Gives us draw and call when our life decreases. So if you have a spirit, we take life, we will draw a card and gain 1 call to that spirit, which is nice. You also have a on deploy, gain 1 call to itself. If you have a yellow symbol, draw a card. If you're wondering where our yellow symbol is, you can just take a look at Lavida X6 carded. So it helps. Plus you can swing in a check. If both the spirits live, pay 3 for this, gain 1 call, draw a card from bottom deck. So it's very very nice. And the draw source also, when your life decrease, is from the bottom of the deck as well. Then last but not least, our 3 green worlds. First, turn play very important, and it can draw you cards after you get the first piece. So first piece gain call, second piece onwards you can change the call to draw, third piece onwards, so on and so forth. It's a Tensei card so when you go to spirit form and then you come back, you also can reuse the on deploy effect to give yourself more calls. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this very very quick check Goodstuff Deck Profile. If you guys like what you see, do hit that like and subscribe. Do ring the bell as well so you can get the notifications whenever I post new videos again. I'm really enjoying this deck so far, and I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Yeah, I'll see you again in the next one. Done.